What's up, guys? Welcome back to another EVE Online video. We're going to talk Tengu today, right? One of my favorite PvE ratting, mission running ships. Very versatile. It if you have, I'm not running a clone with the footage you're seeing here, but if you run the expensive clone, the one I use for my golem as well, your rate of fire is even better. But for level 3, level 4 missions, not really needed. I usually will put the clone on for doing things like havens or sanctums or any sort of rated site. But I really like the Tengu because it's versatile in the fact that I can break it all the way down. I can throw it in a jump freighter or in a crane and kind of move it around. But it can also I also usually carry a interdiction nullifier with it as well, so I can change up the subsystem and get bubble immunity and everything. Very versatile, and the fact you don't lose rigs when you break it down is also a really big plus. It's shield tanked, and it's technically classed as a Tech 3 cruiser for Caldari. There's obviously other Tech 3 cruisers for the other factions. I'm primarily missile skilled, so I enjoy pretty much all things Caldari at the moment. And as you can see here, you usually just roll in, target up a bunch of stuff, and then once you close distance, right, I'm at like 25 kilometers on these launchers, these heavy assault launchers. So I gotta come in a little bit, but that's why I run a prop mod with it, and not really gonna take any damage from this. I think this is a level 3 mission out there near Jita, so I usually just warp in or get in there and find like some sort of like building or barrier and just kind of orbit it, and that allows me to just kind of like keep my moving going. The tank on here is kind of a split, right? You're half of the time you're doing like shield tank because you have your hardener, you have your shield booster, and then also you're just moving all the time too. You're orbiting because like the other half of the tank is sig tanking. So especially for smaller ships, when you start to get to like just battleships on the field, you can pretty much not have to move with the prop mod or anything like that. But the smaller stuff, cruiser, destroyer, frigates, just having the hardener and also just orbiting and at high speeds, that half sig, half shield tank, it works out really well. As you can see here, it's just these guys just take it down. Obviously, like probably the slowest part about doing the missions with the Tengu is just kind of the wait between packs with the prop mod. But with the battleship like a Golem or something like that, that's running like a micro warp drive, it's even slower for that kind of stuff. So I don't really complain too much about the speed. You see we're closing in pretty good. If you do run a clone, you can get the range up to like 30 or 35 kilometers. But like I said, for this low stuff, not worth it at all. And so once we actually get into range here, you can see it's all about just selecting them up, divvying up. It runs 6 launchers, and I just put them in groups of 2, usually. If you run into a pack that has multiple targets all in the same vicinity, you could just like keep all your launchers separate and go to town, which will probably minimize your ammo loss. I'd say this fit is probably pretty standard for the most part for being a missile ship with a shield tank. So we'll start off just kind of talking about the subsystems that I've chosen here. So for my propulsion, I use a chassis optimization, and what this is going to do is it's going to give you 7.5% to the agility and 3% per max velocity per level of the skill, and it gives you +1 mid and +1 low. And then for the defensive, right, I'm using the accelerated ejection bay. This is basically what's going to give you the light missile, heavy missile, or heavy assault missile bonuses, as you can see. It also has a reduction in the power grid and CPU usages of the rapid fires as well. Well, that was the offensive. For the defensive, we're looking at using the covert reconfiguration. I like this because I do run a combat scanner, because I'll use this to run data site, relic sites, scan SIGs and stuff like that for running lower rated sites and like null and things like that. Normally, if I'm doing strictly data relic sites, I'm going to use a specialty ship for that, like a buzzard or like something that's a little bit more bonuses for the scanning. But also this gives a shield booster effectiveness and the benefits of overheating shield booster as well. And then all these you can use like covert Sino and the cloak and all that stuff. And then for our core, we're going to be using the augmented graviton reactor. This gives us more cap capacity and then energy warfare, E-war resistance, okay? And then also I carry a spare. I also carry the interdiction nullifier propulsion subsystem. So if I'm traveling, I'll drop this in, replace this with the chassis op, and throw on an interdiction nullifier. Usually drop the scanner. All right, let's start up with the rigs here. So I'm running medium ancillary current router 2s, and then also a medium core defense 1, just because I keep spares of these for my other ships. You can run a 2 here since you don't waste it when you repack it, but I also try to just keep the fit as cheap as possible. And then for the high slots, you're looking at a Sister's expanded probe launcher. I use this plus, Sister core probes and combat probes. I usually carry the 80 and then 16 of the combat, just to have spares. Covert Op cloaking device 2, and then I'm going to be running the heavy assault missile launcher 2s. And I use Scourge Rage heavies. I prefer Scourge Rage as opposed to Javelin, just because they have a little bit more damage output, and I feel like. So you could do Javelin to get some more range if you wanted, but most of the time you're kind of getting up in the face of all your targets anyway. So the extra range from Javelin is not something that I've particularly enjoyed using. You can also run Caldari Navy launchers here as well. You'll be able to fit more rockets in on reload and also have a faster rate of fire. But like I said, I try to keep it as budget as possible. This whole fit clocks in at around 600 mil. If you throw Caldaris in there, you're looking at like pushing it over $1 bill or so. For the prop mod, I use 100 MN YS8 compact afterburner. This allows me to cap to our top off at 1100 meters a second, which is plenty fine for me. And then I use a shield booster amp 2 and a medium shield booster 2, a generic multi-spec shield hardener 2, a large shield extender 2, and then I do like having the Frost line integrated analyzer because I do like the additional utility slot. Probably the blingiest thing on this fit. You could obviously like swap this for just a regular data or relic analyzer too, and swap for whatever you're going for. And then in the lows, I do the Crosslink compact ballistic control system, and then the ballistic control system 2, and then the another ballistic control system 2. So what I'll do too is, since we're kind of like going over each fit here, I'm gonna swap the subsystem and show you kind of like how I can change it up as well. So I'll swap that. What that'll do is it kicks my relic out, because chances are if I'm traveling, I'm not going for relics. I'm just kind of like trying to get somewhere. And then you can pretty much decide what you want to do up here. You still have access to your covert ops. So usually what I do is I take off the core probe launcher here, and that's where I'll throw my interdiction nullifier. Or if you want to like keep your scanner up here, you just drop one of the launchers, right? And then also what you can alternatively do as well is to drop this and throw on a damage control, right, just in case. But and also most of the time when I'm doing like straight up when I'm traveling is I'm taking all this off, right? I'm taking all this off, and what I'm doing is I'm throwing 3 inertial stabilizers on here. And so what this is interdiction nullifying, covert ops, and a 4.5 or 4.65 align time. Like I said, it's a very versatile ship. It allows me to just, kind of do some, scanning, relic sites, data sites, do missions, then do, rated sites or combat anoms, and then also travel. But like I said, if you're wanting to get into any sort of PvE that involves ratting, missions, data sites, whatever, I highly recommend this ship. It's been really great for me, and, it's fast, it's versatile, and just an awesome investment for your time when you're skilling up for new ships. Hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.